All right, guys, the full body cam video from the Miami Police Department from the Wes Watson Elevation Fitness fight, jumping, felony assault and battery is available at John Bravo Films. Kudos to Johnny Bravo. Also, kudos to Baller Busters working behind the scenes, bringing us so much content that, honestly, I'm doing a full recap of the video, and I'm not doing it stealing Johnny's content. So if you're stealing his content, please don't do that. If you're going to use his content, give him credit. I mean, this guy spent a lot of time, and Baller Busters, whoever they may be, I don't think it's one person, but it's probably an army of people. My nose actually itched right there. That wasn't done for any kind of effect. Have been busting ass. I wanted to do more. I couldn't do more because I just don't have the time. I wanted to. I really did. But I've got like 40 clients or more pulling me, cases, whatnot, causes of action pulling me. I can't. Anyways, enough about me. Kudos to Johnny Bravo, kudos to Baller Busters, and kudos to everybody that collectively has been doing videos and weighing in, because I do believe that we created a snowball effect here, and these charges and a serious prosecution is underway. So, my notes. Big up to John Bravo, check. Big up to Baller Busters, check. Iron Magazine article coming soon. As soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to start writing that out. And hopefully it'll be out tonight. If not tonight, Saturday, March 15th. It'll be out Monday, March 17th. It'll be out one of those 2 days. Now, so I've got two columns here. So I guess what I'm going to do, so let me start with the points, okay? So I'm trying to do this in a lawyerly fashion, and I'm like a little bit disorganized. Well, it's shocking. First thing, so let's talk about the points first. Those are like quick points, and then I'm going to talk about the talking points. So let's talk about just the observations and then move to the talking points, okay? So first observation, Wes talked way too much on camera. Everything is recorded. And whether or not it can be used, as evidence or to impeach him, either way, he talked way too much. Basically, brought in as evidence, meaning that they could cite to it. If they can't bring in as evidence, they can say, hey, didn't you say the next time you were going to kill somebody? Hey, didn't you say that you don't stop hitting someone? Or, excuse me, didn't you say, quote, there is always a threat if he's moving, end quote. I didn't say that. Oh, you didn't say that? Well, we've got this video we're going to use to impeach you. So however they want to use it, he talked way too much. He got very comfortable. For a guy that did 10 years, I thought you're not supposed to talk to the cops. I'm not sure. I'm not a hardened criminal, though. I'm not trying to be a shot caller. And they lied a lot to the police. A lot. So the second observation is, I don't know how they would exclude the video. I just said they can either introduce it as evidence or use it to impeach him, but it's going to come in somehow. Number three, now see, I like this. The cops, they seem to help Wes concoct a story. They weren't doing that. They were playing Wes and his co-defendants as fiddles. Okay? They were trying to tell Wes what the victim was saying, what the victim was thinking, trying to win over Wes, and Wes was very abusive to them, including to a female police officer who he yelled at and said, I'm famous, an African-American police officer. He did this too. Okay, so the reason that I make mention of that is because outside, the victim says that Wes or somebody in his group called him the N-word while they were beating him. People have said this could be a hate crime. I'm not going to get into that here. I'm just going to say, and not only that she was an African-American woman, but that she was a woman. She was the only woman in the responding party, and he was yelling at her. Very diva-like behavior for a shot caller from a whatever, level 10 yard or whatever you are. Okay. And so the intel technique, I call it, they're talking about, for example, I love when they came back and said, the victim's issue is not with you. It's with whoever jumped him. Because his co-defendants were there, and you could see because that's how you do. You turn defendants on each other. So while Wes is taking a sigh of relief, these three momos, to use Greg Valentino's term, these three momos here, one of which said, "Oh, I tried to kick him, but I didn't make contact." I was just like, "Well, the video shows that you did, but you didn't kick him while he was on the floor, right?" And the guy didn't say yes or no. See, these are the tricks that they use. But like the other officer said, it doesn't matter what anybody says. There's video, so it's irrelevant what anybody says. But it is still relevant in the sense that the character of these individuals, the honesty of these individuals is highly suspect. The other thing that I like, it's very subtle, but when Wes says, "Go to John Bravo Films," if you don't know what I'm talking about, I am dissecting the body cam video. So go to John Bravo Films and watch it. Don't go to some other channel that pirated the content. Go to John Bravo Films. Now, yes, it's true. Anybody could do a FOIA request. Anybody could get this, but he did it. You didn't. So don't steal from him, okay? But when Wes said if the guy didn't have that long, girly hair, he could have fought better, you can hear an officer laugh. That laugh is not a laugh supporting Wes's ridiculous statement. It's a laugh to win Wes over. Wes thinks, "Oh, this officer laughed at my joke. This is a friendly officer." During the whole interaction, it's about 30 minutes, he points out that he likes certain officers' demeanor. He doesn't say, "I don't like your demeanor," but he says, "I like yours, and I like yours, and I like yours, I like yours." He doesn't mention this one. Something about this one he doesn't like. So that's the bad cop. The cop that laughs, he's the good cop. It's Jekyll and Hyde, baby. And I'm telling you, they don't need an interrogation room. They don't even need to arrest you. They did it right there. They played Wes and his goons like fiddles. And now, here's the funny thing. He was very abusive to the officers, but this shows you how stupid Wes is. You are very stupid, Wes. And you're a thug, and I have no respect for you, and I don't know why anybody buys your programs, okay? But the fact is, he wanted to make nice. So he insisted upon fist pounding each officer. When you yell at an officer, if you ask an officer if he's ever had a gun pointed to him, okay? When you make a liar out of an officer who knows that he spoke to you in the past, and you are looking him in the face and telling him that he didn't. And then he says, "Oh, and I also went to your house and you were swatted." And he said, "Oh yeah, that I guess that was me." You are calling him a liar, yelling at the female cop, asking if they've been shot in the face before, okay? Telling them that the next time you're going to kill somebody. And then you think that because you give him a fist pound that makes it okay. And a couple of the fist pounds he had to insist. They didn't want to pound his fist. Maybe they wanted to pound his face, but they won't pound his fist. All right. So let's talk about the points. We talked about the observations. Let's talk about the points. Point one, MPD, Miami Police Department, perfectly used the whole intelligence gathering approach. A lot of different players, a lot of different angles, but they nailed it. They did a phenomenal job. At times I thought that, oh my gosh, these officers are helping him concoct a story. They weren't. Okay, the second point is that somebody in an Elevation Fitness t-shirt with a phone in his hand, okay, tried to pressure Miami police officers. Well, actually, that's true. He didn't really pressure them, but he tried to ask them to pressure the victim to erase the video. The person on the phone was telling the guy with the Elevation Fitness shirt to tell the cops, to tell the man to erase the video. Cops said no on that. They said to request that he erase the video. Cops said no on that. Cops did say that they could say that they didn't appreciate the video, but cops are not going to. And how are you going to ask a law enforcement officer to instruct, request, suggest that a victim in a crime erase evidence? That's destruction of evidence. You are stupid. Now, I don't know if you were on the phone with Angel Bajeda, but Angel Bajeda went to StrengthAddicts on New Year's Day and presented a whole just mountain of completely fabricated facts in what happened in this event. Everything the man said was a lie. Everything. And then he goes and talks to John Bravo and lies to John. So, I mean, and then later, later, this is very, very interesting, okay? Later, you can hear a police officer tell another police officer, wait a minute, was the one that kicked him on the floor a manager? Could you imagine if an Elevation Fitness manager, forget just rank employee, but a manager, kicked the victim? I mean, they're already on the hook for just endless liability. But now if you're a manager, a person with apparent authority, a manager doesn't have, a manager has actual authority, not apparent authority. They have more than apparent. They have actual authority. They're like a shot caller. Let's use a Wesism at that particular gym. If a manager kicked the victim on the floor, if a manager was part of the gang beatdown of the victim, if a manager, an employee, or any agent of the gym is asking the cops to have the victim erase the footage, that shows complicity, that shows bad faith, that shows liability, that shows a lot. Okay. Wes offers to make friends with the victim. He doesn't want any trouble. He doesn't want to fight anybody. That's what he says on the body cam video. And he says it because the officers tell him, as I said earlier, that his issue wasn't with Wes. His issue was with the people that jumped him. But then the officers, they turn the heat up. And they say, but now he's saying maybe he is going to press charges on everybody. Oh, wait, tell him to squash it. I'll be friends with him. I want to be friends with everybody. That's what Wes says. Very interesting. Now then, when Wes sees that his self-defense theory is actually not working, okay, he brings up the issue of a firearm. Now he goes off on a tangent. And I think he was probably talking about Sheriff Judd from Polk County, who's always on there on YouTube talking about, stand your ground. If somebody comes to your house, in Florida, you can blow them away and all this other stuff. There's a couple other sheriffs like that. Pinellas, I think, somewhere. I don't know why I covered my mouth because you could clearly hear the burp. But he said, you don't know if this guy's got a firearm or not. I want you to put in the report that I thought he had a firearm. Now, this is like 10, 15 minutes into this charade, okay, of self-defense. Now, a guy who was wearing a white wife beater tank top and a pair of string jogging pants had a firearm. Where? Like, in his keister? I mean, come on, And then when most of the officers are not buying that either, that's when he says there's always a threat. There's always a threat if he's moving. And then they didn't like that, so he didn't get any traction with that. Then he said that he hit the guy on the floor more because he thought maybe he had a firearm. And him as a felon, he can't have one. That's what he told them. I mean, the psychology of a desperate man, of a stupid, desperate man, they didn't really go for that either. And then Wes says, well, I had injuries too. And the cops, what injuries do you have? And the way they asked him, I didn't have to see their face. I could hear the tone in their voice. What injuries do you have? Oh, my hand, but I'm not going to complain about what hand. What did he do to you on your hand? He tapped you? I love when the co-defendant says, oh, he was on the floor. I was going to try to kick him, but I didn't make contact. And the officer was like, no, yeah, you did. So basically, guys, a lot of lying from Wes, a lot of lying from Elevation. I don't know the lawyer that's defending Wes, but buddy, you got a problem.